making technology work smoothly in, well, any big organization. It often feels less like smooth sailing and more like juggling chainsaws, right?
Huh. Yeah, that's not far off sometimes. You've got all these systems, people, processes.
And trying to get them all pointing in the same direction, actually delivering value, that's the real trick.
It absolutely is. It's more than just having cool tech. It's making sure that tech consistently, reliably supports what the business actually needs. That focus. Delivering value through IT. That's really what IT service management is all about.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. IT service management, ITSM, and the big framework everyone talks about, ITIL-4.
Right. And we're basing this on some really solid instructional stuff, the core fundamentals of ITIL-4. Think of this as a way to get a quick handle on the basics.
Yeah, the language, the main ideas. Our goal here is to help you get your head around these concepts, see how they connect in the real world. Especially helpful if, you're maybe teaching this to college students or just trying to learn it yourself.
It's definitely that first step. Gives you the foundation, maybe even helps you start thinking about ITIL certification down the line.
So what's the plan?
We'll start with the basics. What is ITSM? What's ITL? Then hit the key terms you really need that vocabulary. We'll look at the bigger picture with the 4 dimensions.
Okay.
Then dive into the engine room, the service value system. We'll break down its parts, guiding principles, governance, the value chain practices, and continual improvement.
Sounds like a good roadmap. So let's jump in. ITSM, ITL, people use them almost the same way sometimes, but they're different.
They are different, yeah. It's a really common point of confusion. So IT service management, ITSM, that's the discipline. It's the whole approach an organization uses to manage its IT services.
The overall strategy.
Pretty much. Designing, delivering, managing, improving how IT provides services. The big focus is always making sure IT efforts line up with business goals and deliver, value. It's the what and the why.
Okay, so ITSM is the general approach to making IT services effective.
Exactly. How the teams manage the whole service lifecycle. Now, ITIL. That stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Quite a mouthful.
It is.
But ITIL is a framework. It's a collection of best practices for how to actually do ITSM well.
Okay. So ITSM is the goal, and ITIL is like a really popular guidebook on how to get there.
That's a good way to put it. It's globally recognized guidance. Started way back in the 80s with the UK government, now managed by a company called Axilos. The source material defines it as a widely accepted set of best practices to support an organization in gaining optimal value from IT by aligning IT services with business strategy. Basically helping IT get the most value out of everything it does.
And it's changed over time. You mentioned ITIL-4.
Oh yeah, big time. It's evolved. ITIL-4, which came out in 2019, was a pretty major shift. Older versions like ITIL v3 were very structured around a specific life cycle. Strategy, then design, transition, operation, continual improvement. Kind of linear.
Like a waterfall project, step by step.
Sort of, yeah. ITIL-4 breaks away from that really rigid, process-heavy view. It's much more holistic, flexible. It pulls in ideas from agile, DevOps, lean thinking, modern ways of working.
Makes sense. Things move faster now.
Right. So ITIL-4 really emphasizes end-to-end value, collaboration, using automation smartly, and always improving. And it makes a point that it's a framework for service management in general, not just traditional IT. That's key.
That feels much more relevant today. The source mentioned a financial services company example.
Yeah, that really highlights the shift. Under V3, that company might have found the strict life cycle a bit limiting, maybe hard to integrate something like DevOps quickly.
Right.
But with ITIL-4's service value system, which we'll get to, they can blend practices more easily. They can have faster cycles, iterating on design, build, deploy, which is crucial in finance, where you need to react fast.
Okay, so wrapping up this part, ITSM is the discipline of managing IT services for business value. ITIL-4 is the modern, flexible framework providing the how-to.
Got it. Now, the language.
Yeah.
You said it's crucial. Absolutely. Especially if you're teaching this, getting the terms right is fundamental. Let's start with the most basic one, service.
Sounds simple, but ITIL has a specific definition, doesn't it?
It does. A service is a means of delivering value to customers by facilitating outcomes that customers want to achieve without the customer managing specific costs and risks.
Okay, unpack that.
Think about email, the classic example. You, the customer, want the outcome being able to communicate easily. The email service gives you that outcome.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about buying servers, maintaining them, patching software, dealing with power. all those underlying costs and risks are handled by the provider.
That clearly separates the benefit from the underlying complexity. Okay, building on that. Value and value co-creation.
Value is, the usual suspects, benefits, usefulness, importance. But the really big idea in ITIL-4 is value co-creation.
Co-creation, meaning?
And value isn't just something IT builds and throws over the wall. It emerges when the provider and the consumer work together. It's a partnership.
Like that software example. IT gives us the tool, but the real value, like making better decisions, only happens when the business actually uses the tool effectively.
Exactly. The provider enables, the consumer engages and uses. Value is created together. That mindset shift is huge in ITIL-4, and it leads right into another key distinction: outputs versus outcomes.
Okay, outputs versus outcomes. Crucial for students to grasp, I bet.
Definitely. An output is the tangible thing produced. You install a server, you write a report, you close 50 help desk tickets. Those are outputs.
They muted it.
Right. An outcome is the result or the impact that those outputs enable. It's the value. Installing the server output lets you launch a new online service outcome. Closing those tickets output helps restore business operations faster outcome.
So ITIL-4 forces you to think about the why the business impact, not just the what you completed.
Precisely. Always focus on the outcome. And tied closely to value are two more terms: utility and warranty.
Utility and warranty. I remember these as fit for purpose and fit for use.
That's the perfect shorthand. Utility is fit for purpose. What does the service do? Does it have the features you need? Can your cloud storage actually store and retrieve files? That's utility.
Functionality. Yep.
Warranty is fit for use. How well does it perform? This is about assurance. Is it available when you need it? Does it have enough capacity? Is it secure? Is that cloud storage up 99.9% of the time? Is it secure?
Performance and reliability. Got it.
And you need both for value, right? Great features, utility, don't help if the service is always down. Poor warranty. These two really determine the value proposition. The source also briefly touches on service offering, basically a package deal for customers, describing the service, products, terms, and service relationship, the interaction between provider and consumer.
That hospital electronic health record example really brings these terms to life.
It's a great one. Hospital wants the outcome. Better patient care via easy data access. The outputs are the EHR software, the training, the help desk. The utility is that clinicians can record and find patient info. The warranty is that the system is available 24/7, it's fast enough, and it meets strict high-PA security rules.
And the co-creation.
IT provides the stable, functional system. The doctors and nurses use it effectively in their workflows. Together, they achieve the outcome of improved care.
That nails it. And that outcome versus output difference, definitely something to stress when teaching.
Absolutely. It changes how you think about success. Now, moving on, ITIL-4 really pushes for a holistic approach. You can't just focus on one thing in isolation.
Right. This is where the 4 dimensions of service management fit in.
Exactly. To manage services effectively, you have to consider all 4 and how they interact.
Okay, what are they?
First, organizations and people. This covers the company structure, the culture, leadership, roles, skills, everything about the people involved. For teaching, you could ask, for incident management, who needs to be involved? What skills do they need? Is the culture supportive?
Makes sense. People are...
Second, information and technology. This is the data, the knowledge, the reports, and the actual tech. Use the tools, the apps, the infrastructure. For incidents, think the ticketing system, knowledge-based articles, performance monitoring tools. Is the tech fit for purpose? Is the information managed well?
Got it. Tech and data.
Third, partners and suppliers. Very few organizations do everything themselves. This is about managing relationships with third-party vendors. Maybe your ticketing system is cloud-based. That vendor is a key partner. Managing contracts, ensuring they meet their obligations. It's vital.
External relationships.
Fourth, value streams and processes. This is about how work actually gets done to create value. A value stream maps the flow of activities from A to Z for a specific outcome. Processes are the defined steps within that flow. Mapping this helps you see connections and find bottlenecks. Like, what's the whole journey for fixing a major outage?
So you need all 4 working together. Great tech in phone tech is useless if people aren't trained, or in people, or the vendor support is bad, partners and suppliers.
Exactly. They're totally interconnected. A weakness in one dimension impacts the others. And don't forget external factors the source mentions, PESL. Political, economic, social, tech, legal, environmental. A new data privacy law, legal, impacts policies, orgs and people, security tools, info and tech, maybe supplier contracts, partners, and processes, value streams.
Thinking across all 4 dimensions stops you from having blind spots when designing or improving things.
It's essential for building services that actually deliver value reliably. And all of this thinking happens within the main ITIL-4 structure, the Service Value System, or SVS.
Okay, the SVS, you called it the engine earlier.
Yeah, it's the core architecture. The SVS model shows how all the different bits of ITIL-4 work together as a system to create value, the main goal. Turn opportunities or demand into actual value for stakeholders.
And it has 5 main parts.
5 core components, yeah, and they all interact.
1.
The guiding principles. Think of these as universal recommendations: the mindset, governance, the oversight, direction, control, the service value chain. This is the central operating model where value creation happens. Practices. These are like the toolkits, the capabilities you use.
And 5.
Continual improvement. It's woven throughout everything, driving enhancements.
Okay, so principles guide, governance directs, the value chain and practices do the work, and improvement makes it all better, like a cycle.
Pretty much, yeah, an integrated system. Let's start with the principles, the compass for decision-making.
There are 7 of them, you said, not necessarily in order.
Correct. They're all important. First, focus on value.
This feels like the main theme of ITIL-4, right? Everything traces back to value for the customer or business. And remembering value is co-created.
It's the absolute foundation. Ask why constantly. How does this new tool actually help someone achieve an outcome? For that ticketing system, value isn't just closing tickets. It's maybe faster resolution, happier users, less business disruption. Next, start where you are.
Don't just throw everything out. Look at what you have now, what's working, what isn't. Leverage existing resources.
Assess first. Don't just assume you need something brand new. That network monitoring tool example, maybe the current one just needs tuning, not replacing. Principle 3, progress iteratively with feedback.
The agile influence. Small steps, check in, get feedback, adjust. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Like rolling out a new customer portal feature by feature, getting user input along the way. Principle 4, collaborate and promote visibility.
Break down those silos. Work across teams, share information openly, and make sure people know what's happening.
Crucial. Think about planning communications for a major outage. You need IT ops, service desk, business units, maybe marketing, all talking and seeing the same plan. Principle 5, think and work holistically.
See the big picture. Remember the 4 dimensions. How does a change in one area affect others?
Yep. Migrating to the cloud isn't just about servers. It impacts security, user access, vendor management, other connected services, the whole ecosystem. Principle 6, keep it simple and practical.
Avoid complexity for complexity's sake. Stick to the simplest solution that works. KISS principle.
Absolutely. Overly complex processes just get ignored or done wrong, like simplifying incident priorities from, say, 10 levels down to 3 or 4 that people actually understand and use. Finally, principle 7, optimize and automate.
This is a big one. Optimize first, then automate. Streamline the process before you build a tool for it.
Because automating a mess just gets you a faster mess. Understand and improve the workflow, then bring in automation like scripts, tools, maybe AI to make it efficient and reliable. Automating password resets after you've figured out the best manual flow. Smart.
These principles really guide the how, and they often work together, don't they? Like collaborating helps you focus on value. Iterating helps keep things simple.
Exactly. They reinforce each other. They should really become part of the organization's DNA. For students, applying these to different scenarios is key, like that source self-check on start where you are. It's about practical application.
Okay, principles are the compass, then governance is the steering wheel.
Good analogy. Governance provides the direction and ensures the whole SVS is aligned with the organization's goals and is properly controlled. It's about evaluate, direct, and monitor.
Evaluate performance, direct strategy and priorities, monitor compliance and progress.
That's the core loop. ITIL-4 really elevates governance compared to older versions. It connects ITSM to broader corporate governance, making sure IT isn't operating in a vacuum.
So this is where things like IT steering committees come in, setting policies for security or change management, defining who's accountable.
Exactly. Those policies set the boundaries for how the practices operate. For instance, a governance policy might require change advisory board approval for high-risk changes. Understanding governance helps students see how ITSM fits into the bigger picture of organizational control, strategy, and risk management.
Makes sense. It provides the framework for accountability. Now the service value chain, the SVC, the engine room where the work happens.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The SVC is the core operating model. It's a set of 6 key activities that take demand or opportunities as input and transform them into value as output.
Right.
The big thing here is flexibility. It's not a rigid, linear flow.
6 activities. Let's list them.
Okay. 1. Plan. Creating a shared understanding of vision, current status, improvement direction. Think strategic planning, portfolio decisions, budgeting.
Oh.
Engage. All interactions with stakeholders, especially external ones like customers and users. Understanding needs, managing relationships, gathering feedback, often the starting point for demand via the service desk. Design and transition. Making sure services meet expectations for quality, cost, time. This is where you design, build, test, and release new or changed services. Takes requirements from Engage, builds the thing.
4.
Obtain build. Acquiring or creating the components needed for services. Buying hardware, developing software, configuring cloud resources. Works hand in glove with design and transition. Deliver and support. The day-to-day running of services. Making sure they're delivered effectively and supported when things go wrong. Incident management, request fulfillment, monitoring this is where the customer experiences the value directly.
And 6.
Improve. Dedicated focus on continually improving services, practices, everything across the value chain. Identifying opportunities, analyzing performance, driving changes to make things better.
So demand comes in, flows through some combination of these activities, and value comes out.
That's the idea. And activities feed each other. The source uses that software request example. Engage, user request via service desk. Plan, manager check budget. Obtain build, get license. Design and transition. Install, test, deliver, and support. User uses IT supports.
And Improve looks at that whole flow afterwards.
Right. How could we speed up approvals? Can we automate installation? And it's not strictly sequential. An incident in deliver and support might trigger obtain build for a fix. Engage happens constantly. That flexibility is key. And these activities are supported by the practices.
The toolkit. Let's talk practices.
Okay. So practices in ITIL-4 are more than just processes. They're sets of organizational resources, people, processes, tools, partners, info designed to accomplish a specific type of work. ITIL-4 defines 34 of them.
34. How are they organized?
Into 3 categories. General management practices, 14. Things like project management, risk management, adapted from general business. Service management practices, 17. The core ITSM stuff like incident management, problem management, change enablement, service desk. And technical management practices, 3. Focused on managing technology, like deployment management.
So things that used to be called processes like incident management are now practices.
Yes, and it's a broader definition. The incident management practice includes process steps, sure, but also the skills needed, the ticketing tool, the knowledge articles, supplier contracts related to it. It's holistic, reflecting the 4 dimensions.
I see. And each practice has a purpose.
Exactly. The source gives examples. Incident management's purpose is to minimize the negative impact of incidents by restoring normal service operation as quickly as possible. Service level management is to set clear business-based targets for service performance and ensure delivery is assessed, monitored, and managed against these targets.
Understanding the purpose tells you when to use that practice.
Precisely. And this ties into evaluating practices, a key skill for students. The source example. A company has lots of outages after changes. You'd evaluate their change enablement practice. How do they assess risk? Is there a change advisory board, CAB? Is it effective? Maybe you find they skip risk assessment too often.
And then you can recommend improvements like mandating risk assessments, using the CAB more effectively, maybe automating parts of the process.
Exactly. You're using the practice framework to diagnose issues and propose solutions. Practices are the how within the value chain activities.
Got it. And the final piece of the SVS puzzle, continual improvement, which you mentioned is both a principle and a practice.
Right. Its dual nature highlights its importance. It needs to be a mindset and a structured activity. The goal is simple. Always be looking for ways to make services, processes, the whole system better, aligning with changing business needs.
And anything can be improved.
Everything. Services, tech, processes, team skills, supplier relationships, the lot. ITIL-4 provides a 7-step continual improvement model to guide this.
Okay, let's hear the steps.
1. What is the vision? Align with business goals. 2. Where are we now? Baseline assessment, metrics. 3. Where do we want to be? Define measurable targets, KPIs. 4. How do we get there? Plan the improvement initiative. 5. Take action. Execute the plan. 6. Did we get there? Measure results against the targets. 7, how do we keep the momentum going? Embed the change, communicate success, look for the next improvement.
That feels very practical, very structured. The website downtime example in the source walk through this well.
Yeah, vision, 99.9% uptime. Current, 99.0%. Issues with deployments. Target, 99.9% in 6 months. Plan, better deployment methods, infra upgrades, monitoring. Action, implement the plan using change enablement and principles like iterate and collaborate. Did we get there? Check metrics, maybe uptime hit 99.93%. But maybe user satisfaction only improved slightly. New improvement idea. Keep momentum. Lock in the gains, update the improvement plan, communicate success.
That example shows how you actually do improvement, linking it back to the model and other ITIL components. Another key skill.
Definitely. Continual improvement keeps ITIL relevant. It stops things getting stale and ensures IT keeps pace with the business. It's about constantly asking, how can we be better?
Okay, so let's recap the SVS. It's this whole system working together. Guiding principles set the culture. Governance provides direction. The service value chain, using the practices as tools, delivers the value. And continual improvement makes the whole thing evolve and get better over time.
That's a great summary. It's a framework designed for flexibility and creating real, sustained value.
This has been a fantastic deep dive. We've covered the basics of ITSM and ITIL-4, nailed down key terms, looked at the 4 dimensions for that holistic view, and really explored the service value system principles, governance, the value chain, practices, and continual improvement.
And hopefully, for you listening, whether you're a student hitting this for the first time or someone looking to teach it, getting these fundamentals clear is so important. ITIL isn't just abstract theory. It's practical guidance for making IT better, more efficient, and more aligned with business success.
It really gives you that language and structure to analyze what's happening in an IT organization, spot problems, and apply these concepts to make things work better. That's incredibly valuable. And, of course, this knowledge is the bedrock for tackling ITIL-4 certification.
It sets you up to understand how to apply the framework effectively in the real world.
Definitely. So as we wrap up, here's something to think about, building on that idea of constant change. Given how fast technology and business needs evolve, how does ITIL-4's heavy emphasis on continual improvement challenge our old ways of thinking about IT projects having a fixed end? What does that really mean for building IT organizations that are truly adaptable and ready for whatever comes next?
A really interesting question to ponder as you go deeper into this.
Indeed. That's all for this deep dive on ITIL-4 fundamentals.